2, 1.
Okay, I'm actually going to get started. Today, we're going to do a little bit more of an entrepreneurial theme. So today we have with us
Pierre Rainville.
And you own...
Rainville Lawn Care, snow plowing.
Yeah, it's a big one now.
Yeah, it's not huge, but it's getting there.
It's getting there.
It's growing pretty good.
When did you start?
I started 14 years ago.
Wow. Well, I mean, you got, I've seen you running around with fleets of trucks. And
Got 3 fleets out anyway, so we're pretty busy on that little island of ours, you know. Really don't venture off of it.
Do you do stuff off the island?
Very, very little.
Just for the audience, we're talking about an island off of Detroit. It's called, people don't realize there's an island.
Grozeel
off of Detroit.
Well, now the secret's out.
The secret's out.
Fantasy Island.
Yeah, there's like a lot of hummingbirds and deer, and it's like you're in a...
Yeah, we got coyotes, fox, everything there. It's really nice.
What else have I seen? Bunny rabbits.
Oh, rabbits everywhere, squirrels.
It's like living in the Snow White movie.
Yeah.
Just waiting for a bunch of little dwarfs to run around.
It's a cool little place, really.
Did you hear about that, before we get started on that? Did you read about those Thai kids stuck in that cave?
I heard a little bit about it. I was watching it on the news.
Yeah. So it was like, what, 12 of them? 12, 13 of them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why they were in that cave knowing that could happen during the rain season.
Because they had
a guide.
A moron for a guide. Took a bunch of kids out into a cave and they forgot about the rain.
It's incredible.
They're down there for like 2-3 weeks.
That had to suck.
Yeah, imagine being like, what, they were like young, 11 to 14, 15.
It seems like they all came out okay, though. Only one casualty in the whole deal.
Yeah, one of the Thai seals died trying to get them. I think lack of oxygen or something like that.
He probably ran out, something crazy like that.
Yeah, they're pretty deep down in there. That's not too good. But you know who offered to assist them?
Who?
Elon Musk.
Really?
You know who that is?
No, I don't.
That's okay. Does that sound like a normal name to you?
No, not at all.
Elon Musk offered to assist them. He's I don't know what you call him. He's like an innovator. He does like So originally, I think he started by being a programmer when he was young, and he built something that was eventually bought by Compaq, if you remember that computer company. And then it ended up being PayPal.
Okay.
So it's not to say he made PayPal. It ended up becoming PayPal.
Okay.
So he has like now, he built the Tesla car and like the SpaceX program and all this stuff.
Okay.
Can you imagine when you have a kid and you see him and you look at him and you're like, oh, what do we name him? Let's name this. He looks like the Oracle. Let's call him Elon. And your last name's Musk. I don't think anybody should have that name.
It is a crazy name.
No.
It's different.
Elon Musk. Nobody should have that kind of name. Names a kid Elon Musk. He's extremely wealthy, though. So anyway, the point was he offered to help them,
right?
Because he supposedly had like these little mini submarines or something.
Really?
To go down and grab the kids. So he sent him. I don't know if he went, but he sent his crew out there to check him out. And
right.
There's all this controversy about whether he should even involve himself or not. It's kind of, some people were saying it's kind of a PR stunt. Like,
right.
Oh, I'll come out.
Kind of sounds like a PR stunt, actually.
Well, that's the first thing I thought when I saw it is, well, yeah, you're going to go out there with your little mini submarines and help these kids out. I don't think he ended up getting involved at all, actually.
Right.
Other than, so he took a hit today or yesterday, because on Twitter, one of the guys that was actually involved in the rescue, he tweeted that he was a pedo.
Okay.
I.e. a pedophile.
Really?
That was the assumption. He goes, bug off, you pedo, or something like that. And the guy is obviously got a little pissed off, and now he deleted the tweet, but now he's considering suing him.
Sure. I can understand that.
Elon Musk.
I could understand that.
For calling him a pedo.
A pedo, yeah. I wouldn't want to be called a pedo, that's for sure.
Would you sue him?
Those are terrible accusations.
I don't think he was thinking about it. I think he just he's like, like Trump. He just lives up in this, world of castles and not reality.
Right.
Well, regardless of politics.
Sure.
I tend to lean a particular direction. So it's not that. It's just that these people don't live in reality.
No, they don't.
Now some of them do. Like I think Mark Cuban, the Airworks Shark Tank.
Yeah, I've watched it a few times.
Yeah, he's a billionaire normal guy, sort of. But Elon Musk is not. He's just floating around in like a hot air balloon,
right,
all day, overlooking
the world,
overseeing. The world.
I guess he has time to do that.
Yeah, what's interesting that the Tesla is not even really a successful product,
right,
to date. It's not. Like, you don't see it all over the road or anything like that.
No, I don't see him at all.
And I'm not getting. He has a SpaceX program, and for your everyday person like me, and I'm not getting shot up into space either.
No,
it's for the elite,
no doubt.
So what are they gonna do? They'll put a bunch of elite people on a ship and shoot them up into space,
send them to Mars,
see if it works. Is that how they're gonna test it out? No, you don't know.
No, I don't. I don't know.
The only people that could possibly afford to do such a thing
are billionaires.
Yeah, billionaires. Maybe I think Bill Burr said the best way to thin out the herd was to just start sinking Carnival cruise ships or something like that. He said it's a good mix. It's a good mix of people to get rid of. Because
that's funny.
Oh, I didn't say it. He did. So he's the comedian, not me. Yeah, I think if you put a bunch of billionaires on a SpaceX thing, that might be not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
See what happens. Or it could be like that Red Bull guy. Remember he jumped out of that, the Red Bull guy jumped out of that thing from, out of the ship.
What?
You know what I'm talking about? It was
No.
3 years ago.
No.
Well, Red Bull sponsored it.
Okay.
Some guy jumped out from not 30,000 feet, but
Oh, he jumped out of an airplane at...
Well, he jumped out of, 100,000 feet.
Really?
Yeah, and Red Bull sponsored it, of course, because they sponsor everything crazy.
Yes,
right?
they do. Yes, they do.
It's fun to watch, though.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
100,000 feet.
That's crazy.
Oh, he was able to see the curve of the Earth, obviously.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, it was pretty wild looking.
That is wild.
Do you see that? Can you pull it up, the Red
I
Bull
did
guy?
24 miles.
24 miles.
Oh, 5,808 something feet per mile. So, 100-something thousand feet.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you had all the gear on and whatnot, but I don't know. I think you lose perspective when you're that high. I'd rather jump out of that than a building.
Well, you'd be dropping for a while. That'd be the cool thing about it.
10 minutes, actually.
It took him 10 minutes to get...
10-minute drop.
10-minute
Can you
jump.
imagine?
Yep.
Yeah, you'd just be floating around.
You're just floating for 10 minutes. Kind of wild.
Yeah,
Better than floating in the water, you know?
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
What about those, they got those, what are they called? Those wing suits.
Oh, yeah. The bat wing suits.
The bat wing suits.
Oh, that thing would be cool. It's
Would
like a
you-
flying squirrel, you know?
Yeah, and they just haul on through these, some of the more risky guys actually go through like these little holes in mountains and whatnot.
Yes.
Of course, they
Craziness.
don't show the part where they get splattered
Yeah,
up against the mountain.
I don't think they live long. They don't have very good life expectancy in that, you know?
I wouldn't imagine. So it's like a mountain climber.
No
Like those
doubt.
mountain climbers that go with no ropes.
Oh, yeah. All just finger strength. That's incredible.
Screw that, man.
No way.
No way. I can't even climb the stairs. Much less rock wall.
Yeah, no thanks. There's better things to do in life.
Yeah.
Climbing rocks.
What do you do on your free time?
I do a lot of hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a place up north.
Got a place up north. Got a couple places up north. Got a place, 2 places in the UP, and then a place in Upper Michigan.
Yeah. What kind of stuff you hunt?
Deer, moose, bears,
Bears.
ducks. Yeah, a lot of grouse hunting. Pheasants.
Let's go back to the bears.
Oh yeah, bear hunting's good stuff.
Yeah. They're bigger up there. I know there is in the UP, but
Yeah.
not so much.
Well, there's a lot of bears. Not all big bears, you know. It's one of those deals. I wouldn't take a small bear. A lot of guys take small bears just because they're excited. They see the bear and they go, "Oh my God, it's a bear!" So they shoot it, and it ends up being a 100-pound bear. You know, it's a cub.
Yeah.
It's a cub. You know what I mean? So you got to really.
Yeah.
I've been on a lot of hunts. My cousin's into it. He does a lot of guiding up there, and I've seen a lot of cool things. I've seen 9 bears in one tree.
Baby ones.
No,
Cubs,
a
big
lot
cubs,
of
or
there
big-
was a couple cubs, but there was there was other big ones too. You know, a couple 100-pounders.
What kind of bear?
They're all black bear.
Those are nasty, aren't they?
Yeah, they can be.
You ever get worried about them coming after you?
Yeah, because we've come up on some big ones, and when they bay up, they don't climb trees. They'll come after you. They'll attack you if they have to. You know, but
So
that's the way it is.
what's the protocol besides stay the hell away?
You shoot them fast. You know.
Fast and furious.
Yes, you're hunting with dogs. I don't hunt over bait. Bait's no fun. You know.
What do you mean?
We hunt with dogs.
Oh, I see.
We run 6 dogs,
Right.
and they get on the trail. And you know, if you want to take that
Sniff-
bear, we
sniff
take
them out. Or
Yeah, we run them. Sometimes we run 5-6 miles through the woods. Get them. You know, swamp. It's always through the worst areas that you're gonna, go find a bear. Believe it or not.
Yeah, that would be nasty, huh?
It is nasty. We pulled them out. It's taken us like 10 hours to get a bear out of the woods, and it's a mile off the road or something, It's not,
Once you kill it,
right.
who carries that one?
All of us.
Yeah.
It's a group effort, really.
What's the largest one you've
640.
640 pounds.
640-pound bear. I did not shoot it, but it was. I
But
was
you
on
had
the-
to
I was
help
in the-
carry it.
Yeah, I was with the hunting party that got that bear.
That's a pretty big
It's
bear.
pretty much a world record bear.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Who has that?
Some guy from Georgia.
What do they do with it?
They have a process, and then he probably had it all caped out, and I'm sure he had it all mounted.
Yeah, stuck on his wall,
Yeah,
his floor.
yeah,
Depends on what you're into.
yeah.
What about any other wild animals?
I
Or just Michigan stuff? You ever go to Africa? Anything
Yeah,
like that?
no, I'm not into safari hunting. I just see North America hunting's just fine.
Yeah, there's plenty
Yeah,
to go around.
I've gotten into moose hunting in the last couple of years, and
That's a lot up north, too.
yeah, that's all up in Canada, Upper Canada. We hunt up there. Fly-ins, they're pretty cool.
When do you have time for all this? I don't have time for anything.
No, you don't.
I have time to go bear hunting.
Oh, you got to make time for that stuff,
Like when?
During bear season,
When's
September to October.
you got 2 months. Is that when they're out?
Yeah, that's
feeding and
when they have
preparing
2
for the winter?
seasons. It really starts in September, and then it kind of ends in early October.
What do they do when they're out gathering and
They're gathering, getting ready to.
get ready for the hibernation?
Yeah,
season?
pretty much. Yeah,
Right. All of a sudden, boom,
yeah,
pop one off.
yeah.
To bother you?
No,
No.
not really.
Do you eat them?
Oh yeah,
You eat them?
waste nothing.
So what do you do, for example? I'm not.
Well, you cook anything just like you would cook beef or.
How's it? I've never had bear. of
Bear's
course.
good. It's
It's not
better.
on the menu at
It's
McDonald's.
it's a little oily. It's not too bad though. It's better than venison, I think.
No?
I think it's got better flavor, way better flavor.
Like what? Does it taste like a Slim Jim?
No. You can make it taste like a Slim Jim if you want, though. If you want to make Slim Jims out of them, you can.
What does it taste like organically? I mean, straight out of the gate.
I would say it's closer to cow.
Oh, like a burger.
Yeah,
So McDonald's should get.
yeah. It's all red meat.
Um,
It's good.
Yeah. Is there certain parts of it that are better than others?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Tenderloins are always the best. And the hindquarters are better than the front shoulders. But
Same thing as a cow.
yeah,
So
same thing.
is there like a filet mignon of the?
Oh yeah, that's the back straps of the
bear.
Yeah, all your back straps, your tenderloin.
Right.
And you got inner loins too, but they're very good.
No, I haven't had bear before.
That's pretty tasty.
Don't think they have that McDonald's Taco Bell. I'll take a number 2 for the bear. I'll take the number 2 bear. Well, I don't think most people have had bear meat to eat.
I guarantee a lot of people haven't, but
Because
I'm kind of a northern guy,
So it was the first time you actually saw a bear? Were you
I was young when I first saw them. First time ever hunting them, though. The first time they come in, it's amazing. You think they're so big, and when you're all alone with them and stuff.
That's because they can kill you.
Well, they could,
They follow you.
but really, they're not going to kill you, man. They're more afraid of you than anything. They don't want anything to do with you. You know what I mean?
Except for that one that has a mental illness.
Or the one that's been bait up with, some dogs or something, is agitated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that, really, they don't. Maybe with cubs, they
get protective.
Yeah, but that's it's just something you don't usually walk up on bears.
What if they walk up on you? Have you ever been afraid?
No, not really.
No,
Never.
You got like a machine gun or something?
No, not at all.
That's the only way I'd feel comfortable if I had like a rocket.
No, you don't need anything like that.
No.
No, seriously, they're not going to come up on you. They really are. They are not going to come up on you. If they don't know you're there, yeah, they'll walk through. But they have a pretty good nose, so
Yeah.
you really have to use the wind and stuff like that.
I'd probably do something stupid like, start waving at it like, whoa, making noises.
I was bow hunting one time and had a bear come in and he was eating on my bait. And back in the days when I used to bait, and I'm sitting there and I can't do anything. I don't have a bear tag, so he's just there, and I can't get rid of him. I don't want to, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want him to see me. So at the end of the night, it's getting dark. The only thing I could think of was throw my backpack down at him. And when the backpack, it hit like a foot behind him, he just took off running through the woods.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Just running over trees and everything,
Sounds like they need therapy.
So that was like the one time I was paranoid in the woods, coming out of the woods at night, because it was dark now. You wait till dark, come out, and I see this like black being. I have no flashlight,
Did you think it was?
And I'm going, oh my God, no. And I'm bow hunting, so I don't have a firearm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, oh God, I hope that's not a bear. So I just started walking. I said, well, it is what it is, So I just kept walking, and it wasn't. It was a big rock just sitting there. It just had me freaked out,
I was waiting for something interesting.
Yeah, there was nothing. It was just a big rock.
I go outside my.
And I walked by that rock 100 times, you know what I mean? And never noticed it until that night when I saw that bear,
I go outside my house, and if I see something big in the shadows, they're deer.
Right.
You know this about.
Oh yeah,
they're deer. There's some pretty big ones there too.
Sitting in there eating your hydrangeas and stuff, your hostas.
Yeah. Right, but they get pissed off.
Yeah.
They'll attack you more than a bear.
Right.
Especially in this season, they got the.
Oh yeah, wait till you see them in October.
Little Bambis and all that running around.
I know you see all the little fawns running. They're cute.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah,
you can't shoot a fawn.
No, never.
No.
Never.
Well, I mean, they
wanna
got
do
those spots on them, like hit me here.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kidding. I haven't hunted anything. Don't look at me. I'm not eating Bambi.
There's nothing wrong with eating Bambi. It's okay.
I've never had bear meat though. How about any other animal? Moose. They're big.
Yeah, they're huge.
If you ever see them in person.
Oh my God, they're so big.
Yeah.
I did a hunt last year. I shot one, and now I'm going right back to the same spot this year, up out of Hearst, Ontario.
And so when you say nothing, people understand hunting too much, and I'm not an avid hunter. I'm not against it either, though.
Right,
so,
right.
When you say I hear a lot of people say waste nothing.
Right. You don't want to waste anything.
So what does that mean?
Well, you don't want to waste any of the meat on it. I mean, to the hide and stuff like that, you really can't do much with it. I mean, if you want, you can make a blanket out of it if you really wanted to, but most hunters aren't doing that.
In the movies or the TV, on TV, you see people with like their bear on the floor.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can do that, for sure. You can do bear rugs, not a problem, but you just don't want to waste any of the meat. There's no reason to kill that animal for nothing,
Yeah, so you use it. How long does it last?
It's good for a year, You put it in the freezer, it's good. You finish it all off,
So you're not going to McDonald's or anything?
No, I don't eat much McDonald's.
No?
No, I don't like McDonald's.
What's wrong with McDonald's?
It's bad for you.
They have oatmeal.
Yeah. You can have oatmeal at home, though.
It's bad for you.
Yeah, McDonald's bad for you.
No.
Tasty, but, can't have it all the time.
So you make it, you keep it at home. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. I do 99% of the cooking around my house.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do 0.
Yeah, I like cooking a lot. It's kind of cool.
I either pick something up or somebody else has to do it. Or I don't eat. Or I get like snacks.
Snacks, yeah. Snacks are always good.
Well, that's what the McDonald's drive-thru is for.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is good. I'm not gonna...
Well, that's not good meat either.
No, it's terrible meat, but damn, it's good.
Is it even meat, though?
I don't know.
Well, at one point, they had a problem with the...
You got to wonder. There's probably horse meat or something like that. But who knows?
Really?
Who knows?
Is that like cheaper or something?
Probably.
Where are all these horses?
Way
Where are all
cheaper.
these horses being killed?
Exactly. Where does it go?
I mean, where does that happen?
I don't know. I went out west this year snowmobiling, and I saw some of the cattle yards, and it was just amazing. I mean, you would drive 3 or 4 miles on the highway, and it was nothing but cattle. I don't even think they could really walk around. And that's where they're going into the slaughter,
Why is horse meat cheaper than cow meat?
I don't know. It's probably because it's tough. And it's not fed like a cow is to
You're talking about why?
produce. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. Yeah, they're not giving them all the...
Yeah, most horses die when they're in their 20s, man. They live forever.
How long does a cow live?
They only go like 3 years tops, I think.
On their own?
Well, on their own, they probably live for 20 years. Who knows? But
Well, I mean, otherwise, they don't make it
they
too
only
long.
keep them around 2-3 years, something like that. Just fatten them up.
Is that where their prime is?
Yeah.
2-3 years?
Yeah, they don't want them to get too tough.
I can kill them. I look at their eyes and they say...
I couldn't do it either.
They say,
man.
don't kill me.
I couldn't do it.
I was in Scotland recently. We were petting cows, and they're looking at you with these big
Yeah, I
eyes
know.
like, no, don't eat me. And then I went and had a burger. I felt bad about it.
I'd be a terrible farmer. I mean, I like to hunt a lot, but,
What's
I
the
still
hard-
have compassion for animals.
Do?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
How do those two things coexist in your head?
Uh,
I'm not
it's
saying.
all
I'm
about-
not suggesting it's a bad thing.
Regardless, we got to eat, right?
Yeah, no, but you could go down the grocery store and get that.
Well, you could, but if, I know people in northern areas that live off the land completely, so it's like going to the grocery store, you're just taking care of it yourself.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Which is kind of cool because you know where the meat, it's cleaner. You know it was natural. You know how you packaged it, how it, everything. So
Isn't there a process? You could school me a little bit on this. Isn't there a process by which when I'm not sure. I would assume this applies to any animal, but let's talk about deer or bear or whatever. After they've been shot or whatever, the certain toxins start to kick in.
sure.
Within the animal, and that
Right.
you got to do it in a timely manner.
Yeah, you need to get them gutted out within at least 24 hours,
What starts to happen after that?
Oh, they start to bloat and they start decomposing. They're dead, so their insides are going to decompose faster. And that's where you get all the toxins. So that's why you want to get insides out. And then you can hang them. As long as it's cold enough, you can hang them for 2 weeks.
And then, right.
You know what I mean? You hang it and let it bleed out,
Well, that's pleasant.
That's how it goes, so, man.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not against hunting. It's just not for me.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's not all beautiful. You know what I mean?
I can't do it.
Killing is killing. There's
No,
nothing cool
look.
about killing.
If I'm living up, look, I live in the suburbs, right? So,
Right.
So I mean, I'm obviously. But if I were up north or in Alaska, I understand
Sure.
why people do what they got to do. So I don't have anything against it. Certainly, I have the NRA all over me. Well, no problem.
Yeah,
Guns are there for a reason.
exactly. I think everyone should have them. Well, not everyone, but there should definitely be something that can be some test, something that before people do get guns. They shouldn't be so easily
Acquired.
Exactly.
There should be a lot more.
There needs to be some psychiatric reviews on, I do believe that, but
You're talking about responsible, so now
Yeah.
we're going down a little bit of a path here, but let's do it anyway. But
okay.
you're talking about a responsible gun ownership.
exactly.
Right. Certainly, anybody who's been involved in the shootings of schools and all that kind of stuff with that easy access to,
Right.
sometimes through the parents, but other times not. Right. They just go buy them and it's permitted and so on and so forth.
Well, not only that, you can just buy it from anyone. I mean, a pistol is one thing where you have to change over a registration and whatnot, and they do a little bit of a background check on you. But when it comes to a shotgun or a rifle, you can just go buy it from your buddy next door. And that's it.
That's legal.
That's it. That's how they do it. It's done.
Is that legal?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, it's a used gun. It's like buying a used car.
Really? Yeah. And what about the registration?
I had a client that used to pay me in guns. He'd pay me every couple months with a gun.
I could.
Well,
What about the registration process?
if we had pistols, we'd register them and take them to the police station, do what we had to do.
Right, but not rifles.
Not rifles or shotguns.
Is that just in Michigan? Why? So
I don't know. I think that's everywhere, man. It's nationwide.
I don't know if those are federal laws or
In
states.
Canada,
Canada's
Canada's a lot more
state by
strict
state.
on their gun laws. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Canada's
well,
tough
that's
on
because she said a couple of weeks ago they're just busy apologizing to each other.
They're just so nice.
No, I love Canada.
And Canada is a good place.
It is a cool place to go, but they're much softer. Though. It's like I don't know. Canada's like another U.S. state. It's like the soft state.
Yeah, they are kind of soft.
I'm surprised we haven't sucked them up yet.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. They won't give it up. I don't think they'll give their lands up. They love it too much.
Yeah, they do.
Plus, they get to bring all their garbage here, so what's the difference,
Yeah, no, they ship it right across that bridge, don't they?
Isn't that great?
Unbelievable. Speaking of states, let's change topics for a minute here. I think California, you hear about this, had a referendum, or is going to split off potentially into 3 states.
Really, California?
Yeah, I think it's northern, southern, and central
Sure.
California, whatever they want to call it. I'm all for it.
So why would they do this?
I think that the political motivation. Well, first of all, the political motivation. One is, and money is a motivator. Like one area of the state sucks off the other areas of the state.
Sure.
Therefore, taxes are higher, and so on and so forth. And the other is, I think it's natural for people to want to be part of something large. Meaning like there's actually no reason actually to do it.
Right.
We just want to vote it in so we could say, oh, we were a participant in making the 52nd state, 52 states.
I gotcha.
Look what I did. It's kind of like putting Obama into office. Was there a really good reason?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he wasn't a sharp cat. I mean,
No.
he definitely was.
He was definitely sharp.
He had he could command a room well. He's not a dummy, but at the same time, if you looked at his credentials, I mean, he'd only done 2 years in the state senate.
Right.
Right. He wasn't even a congressman or anything.
Sure.
But they put him into place. And I think it's a lot because people just want to.
I think they want to stir things up.
Be part of history.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
So put him in there for a few years, see what happens. Whether you agree or disagree with his politics. So getting back to the states, that's why I don't know when that referendum is coming up, but the people get to vote on it.
Sure.
Can you look that up?
It's this fall.
Is it? When? The fall. Just the fall. So people will show up at the voting booths in the fall.
Is that something to get the marijuana, get 2 more states into marijuana?
They got it. I think
They're
they were
fully legal.
They're fully legal now.
Yeah. So
Well, how many
there
states
would
are
have
there?
to be 2 more states legal, then that would help push the
Oh,
whole.
right. Yeah, there'll be 2 more states that have fallen down. Well, I mean, it's just like anything. Once you get the momentum going
Right.
in any particular category, whether it be, and I'll stay away from these topics a little bit, but whether it be gay marriage or marijuana, once you get the momentum going, you get a couple, 3 states on board.
Right. I think it's going to keep going.
Yeah, it's gonna spread. If you get one, you got to kind of have 3 or 4 to
Right.
get the momentum going to make sure you can get through everything you want.
And then you got Canada that just went totally legal also.
for
Marijuana.
did they really?
Yeah. Recreational. It'd be legal in October, I believe. Completely legal.
And what kind of parameters they have around it?
That I don't know.
Yeah, enough to say.
Yeah, it's legal. You can come here and
Here are the laws around it.
just go in and buy it like you can in states where you know.
Yeah. It's more expensive though, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
To
It
buy it-
probably
to
is.
buy
Yeah,
it-
at a
to buy it.
dispensary or something. Yeah, it's going to be more expensive.
To buy it legally.
Yeah.
I think that's. I read a story about a year ago about why dealers of marijuana were actually not being impacted heavily by this, and that's because they can get it all for cheaper.
Yeah, they can get it for cheaper. That's the thing.
The quality of it may be questionable, but I mean,
I know some people that are in the business and they're finding that it's harder and harder to get rid of it now because everyone's getting into it, you know. And
what do you mean harder to get rid of it?
It's harder to get rid of their product because everyone has it. So it's not selling as well. That's why the prices are legitimately.
Right.
And that's the problem.
I think it was like a 2020 or a 60 Minutes thing, and they were out there, you know.
Right.
Newscasters who shouldn't be in the areas that they are asking these guys, you know, with the blurred faces and you guys, how you feel about it being legalized? They're like, all for it.
Sure.
Because we can sell for a third of what they can sell for.
Right.
So just keep coming here.
And once
not that I'm encouraging that. I'm just telling you what they were saying.
Right.
About it. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's progression. It's evolution, whether you like it or not.
They should try fixing the roads in Michigan with it.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, 11 Mile in particular.
Any of them.
Any of them in Detroit. Terrible. What are you looking up over there? Anything interesting? Or are you just like YouTubing right now?
Yeah, I'm just YouTubing.
Anything interesting?
Just your YouTube channel.
She can't. I don't think she can. You're not able to participate today.
No, not today.
No, I don't think that. I mean, there's like a natural progression. I just think it happens a lot faster now than it used to.
Sure.
Like you go back to the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the progression and anything that they really did. I'm not talking about commercial business. Like industrial age was obviously, really, really good place to be and all that. But progression in which we're in today, the things that it just moves so quickly.
Oh, God, yeah.
And the amount of pressure that people feel in order to, I think in part it is. I say this with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, and that is that there's not that many problems going on in the U.S. right now.
No, there isn't.
I'm not suggesting that we're not involved in issues in Syria or issues wherever, but if you ever watch the media, you kind of know when there's an issue or not.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that one of the hot topics right now is talking about Kim Kardashian's ass, right, and or transsexual pronouns. It kind of defines where you are in the spectrum of where are we having difficulty or not.
Okay, right.
Meaning, if we were to have a war going on, we we wouldn't be talking about these
transsexuals and
these topics.
Sure,
at
right.
all. They'd be completely on the back burner.
Right.
The fact that we're talking about the legalization of marijuana, which is something that's been on the cusp for the better part of 30, 40 years now.
Every bit of it, yeah.
You know, now that's sort of the topic that we're covering. Kim Kardashian, or Kylie Jenner, or whatever. I mean, the fact that that's the news for the day tells you where we are.
Yeah.
I think people need to appreciate.
Yeah, things are going well.
Where we are in our economies. And I'm not boasting up Trump or anything.
Right.
I'm
No,
talking.
things are going very good
Forget
right
about
now.
politics. The unemployment rate is pretty much at zero.
It's anyone that isn't working
will never work.
Isn't worth working. Yeah. Right.
Those 4%. There's no such thing as zero unemployment. Right. You always have that 4% that just aren't going to do it.
Exactly.
All right. So unemployment's low.
Unfortunately, in my business, we always get the bottom end guys. You know, we try to get good guys, and we pay them well. But by the end, it seems like my career here, it brings all bottom end people. You know.
So let's talk about your business a little bit, and kind of get into that part because the economy is good at this time.
It's great right now. People are busy. They can't cut their grass. They're too busy to cut their grass. And when they're done working, they don't want to cut their grass. So it works out good for me.
Yeah. So how do you, entrepreneurially, how are you finding people right now?
I have a handful of guys that been with me for a while. We had a little bit of a roller coaster start this year. We had one of our main guys just up and quit, go somewhere else, never gave us any notice. As far as we knew, he was coming back, and then tells us the day before we're going to start, he's not coming. So I lost one of my main crew leaders. It's like the first time ever I've been in these situations where I couldn't get anything done right, and now I'm like fishing through guys. I had another guy that was thrown through the back window of a car in an accident.
Ooh.
Yeah,
back window of a car.
Yeah, he was in the back seat, and he ended up through the back window. Broke all his ribs on one side, broke 20 vertebrae, broke his arm real bad. So he actually just came back last week. So, and he was one of my main guys, and another one of my main guys. So two of my main guys were gone.
I'll put the pressure on.
Oh, man. I'm trying to find, I went through 14 guys to get to where the guys that I have now, and finally they're like good people. These aren't bottom end guys. They just don't know what they want to do. They don't know what, and they're not going to be with me forever. I got a couple guys that, they're going to be there. I can pay them well, and they're going to be there forever, but other than that, I'm constantly cycling through workers,
So, I mean, is the turnover rate pretty high?
It is. I mean, it hasn't been up until this year, though. I swear I've never had problems with labor this year.
Do you think that's in part because the economy is so good and people have options?
Everyone that is, a good worker, they have a good job, and they're working. You know what I mean?
And they have choices.
Yeah, they do. They have choices, exactly.
So
it's not like you're going to get rich working, doing lawn care.
So, I mean, how do you compete in that area?
The best thing you can do is just keep good. The guys that you have, you got to treat them well. You got to do well, whatever they need. Some of my guys have my trucks. They're running my trucks all the time, which is good advertisement too, But, you got to help them out because they're helping you in the long run. When you think about it, they're helping you, but you got to support them too.
Yeah, and the same with a lot of companies don't do that.
They don't.
Certainly not in a bad economy.
Right.
When it's an employer's market, if you will.
Right.
Right, then everybody's knocking on your door for a job. And
exactly. But anyone that starts now, they all want to start at, $15, $17 an hour. It's like, this is a lawn business, man. You don't make that kind of money. This is an entry job to get you going, to get you some responsibility, to get a work ethic and get off in your life. You know what I mean? You're not going to make that kind of money starting out. Every kid that comes, they're like, oh, 15 an hour? Well, Well, let's see what you're worth.
Which
first.
equates to about $30,000 a year.
Yeah,
give or take.
which and not one of them are going to make $30,000 a year because they're not going to work that much. They're not going to make it to work that much.
Yeah.
It's and then we only work so many months a year.
Yeah, so that you put the squeeze on you.
Yeah, so it's tough, but you
So
got to just keep them happy, man. Whatever, little bonuses here and there, whatever it takes.
So how do you interview? I'm just curious. I ask owners of company, how do you interview people? Do you do it like in a formality?
Yeah, I just bring them in and
Talk to
I
them?
can pretty much look right through someone, see what they're worth. They all come out hard out of the gate, It's usually about 4 days in they start slipping, and unless they are good workers, and then they just keep working,
So when you interview people, what do you do? Like let's call this, if you wouldn't mind, a blue collar business.
Well,
right?
I'm looking what kind of experience I have. If they can run the machines. I mean, because really, you got to be able to run the machine to be efficient, and if you can't run the machine, I'm only going to pay you so much to run a weed whip all day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna run a weed whip and you're gonna blow. That's it. That's the way it is. Or you're gonna be pulling weeds, or little things like that. So they need to know how to run the machines. I need experience. Need to know that they have experience and whatnot. And you could tell right away. They're like, oh well, I've ran a zero turn a couple times, so they think they're experienced. And then they're running over sprinkler heads and logs, rocks, running into trees,
Costing
curves. Oh,
That's what I would be doing. I'd be running over everything.
I got it with my guys right now. I'm there every morning, and we take the blades off, we sharpen everything, and like you see the guys, the blades are just gnarled up. It's like, dude, what did you hit? Well, I didn't hit nothing. Oh, well, that's funny. The 3 blades under your machine tell me different. I said, listen, all right, this is your machine.
Well, what is the average age of the people that are there?
Anywhere from like 18 to...
Yeah, so they're straight out of school.
Yeah,
whatever.
they really don't give a shit about
I worked at.
They don't
I
care
told
about
you I worked
anything,
at that. I worked at this hardware store when I was 15 years old, and it was like a family hardware store. And they thought, since it was a family hardware store, they thought like, oh, you're now part of the family.
Oh, right.
So it's like, oh, I felt really close to them and everything. They're like, at one point, besides making keys, which was impossible back then because they weren't automated,
Right.
they let me run the forklift.
Okay.
Well, mind you, I don't even have a license, much less know how to run a forklift.
Right.
So I was in the back, trying to pick up pallets of stuff. But you put a kid in a forklift,
Right.
all we're doing is, all I'm doing is trying to pull wheelies on it.
Exactly.
I poked everything in that entire warehouse. I was like, what do you guys even while I was doing it, I was like, I can't believe you're letting me use this.
Right.
Because the way that those things spin on on a smooth floor.
Oh, no doubt.
You have no choice but to have fun with it.
I worked in a foundry one time in Wisconsin doing fire brick. I was laboring at the time, so I had to go get them all their bricks. So they gave me a forklift, and there was hundreds of forklifts running through this foundry, and they drove like crazy. They were everywhere. So I was going down. It was wintertime. I had to go down this ramp to go get a pallet of brick, and as I turned down the ramp, the thing spun sideways and then just slid sideways all the way down the ramp. I thought for sure I was gonna flip the thing over, and I didn't. I ended up backwards and in the mud and stuck.
Explain that to your boss, right? How'd you get down there? Well, this thing's a piece of shit.
The thing almost killed me, man.
Yeah. You got liability
See these
insurance.
tires? This thing sucks.
Hope you got workers' comp. Even though you're the one that did it, I don't know. You don't put 15-year-olds in forklifts.
No, I agree with you there.
I had a blast, though. I eventually got fired.
I got guys in their 20s I won't let put down on any of my machines.
Yeah, because we poked too many bags.
Right.
I got the talking to by the owner. He was like the old guy, right? He's like, I don't want to let you go, but, you pretty much screwed up our entire inventory. I'm like, really? Did I? I don't think I did that. I think it was Mark that did that.
Trying to play it off.
Well, they didn't have cameras back then. They couldn't
Right.
prove it. I was
Right.
like, I wasn't back there. Because you had slipped back there just to be on it.
Right.
They weren't even asking for a pallet of anything.
You just sit back there practicing,
Practicing
destroying.
destroying stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So how did you actually get started 14 years? So
Well,
from the entrepreneurial perspective, what were we doing before that?
I was, well, I had cut trees for a while. I was climbing trees and stuff like that.
It's pretty lucrative
Tree
business.
service. Yeah, it is.
Wow.
And then it kind of dried up around the area. So I started laying brick. I started with this company that was going out to Wisconsin and doing fire brick at one of the foundries out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing that. I was just traveling all the time. And before you know it, I was in the Bricklayers Union, and I got my apprenticeship. I laid brick for about 10 years.
Wow.
And that started drying up when with the drop, with the recession.
To
There.
08,
Yeah.
give or take.
And so I just finally it was harder and harder, and I'd already had this kind of started. And I got a loan from my mother-in-law. She wasn't my mother-in-law at the time. And I bought my buddy's lawn business. Everyone told me, they're like, dude, what are you doing?
What did he have a
He had
set of clients?
he had like 13 accounts, as I said. I said, well, I work a month, I'm off a month. I work a month, I'm off. What do I have to lose? And maybe I can get something going here where it's, I'm in a place where a lot of people know me, and word can travel, and what do I have to lose at this point? Like I couldn't make my bills laying brick, so what's the difference? So why not try this, So I get this silly loan from my mother-in-law, and just started it. I started out with 13 accounts, and I would do anything. I was cutting trees. I was working for other friends that had businesses, whatever I had to do just to keep money coming in, because there was no money really with 13 accounts, But by the end of the first season, I had started off with 13, and I ended up, I think, with 40.
Did you find that you found most people by marketing, not social marketing, obviously back then, but door-to-door, flyers, or whatever?
I didn't do any of that.
Word of mouth.
It was all word of mouth. I did absolutely. My trucks didn't even have my name on them for the first 6-7 years.
So the lesson being is that you deliver
Right.
on something, and people will come.
If you do good work in a nice area like that, and everyone, it's a small community for the most part, and if you do good work and you are good to people, it's just going to come,
Yeah, they'll give you a
So
call.
advertisement really wasn't a big deal for me. It still isn't. I mean, the only reason why I have it on my name on my trucks now is just so for the law, The law wants to have that. They want to see the company name on the truck and whatever, and you got to be vested and whatnot.
I see.
So that's a good thing. But that's the only advertisement I do.
Yeah. So how many accounts do you have now?
We have 285.
That's a lot.
It is. It is a lot. We do 285 lawns a week,
Wow.
and they're not little lawns.
Yeah.
They're all pretty decent lawns.
That's pretty good size.
So I got 3 crews running around out there cutting the grass, and then we have crew doing full landscape, whatever you want. We can do full design, remodels, whatever, brand new. Do a lot of stone.
So
work.
did you just start with the the mowing and the cutting?
Yeah,
and all this
that was basically just mowing and cutting and doing cleanups, stuff like that, weeding, whatever.
whatever it took.
Yeah, trimming bushes, anything, whatever someone wanted. And then once you start getting a clientele, before you know it, everyone wants so much every year, So you just kind of get a little list going, and pretty much it's every year with your good clients, you know what you're going to do.
So long as you keep doing good work.
Right, as long as you keep doing good
A
work.
lot of people that we talk to, and we're for up and coming entrepreneurs. There's so many different ways of marketing now and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we always tell them, look, if you don't deliver this on the services that you say you're going to deliver on, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah,
your shelf life as a company is going to be short.
Yeah, and you got to eat a lot too. Sometimes you got to put a little extra out there, spend a little extra, even though you're not going to get that, and doing that just makes things so much easier.
And what capacity? Spending an extra.
No, I mean you're not
Put in the extra muscle.
Yeah, extra muscle, doing a little extra work, whatever. If you needed an extra yard or something, you'd throw it in there real quick and just do it. You know what I mean?
Just get it done.
Just get it done so it looks good, even if you underbid it. You know, you don't underbid it and eat it. Sometimes you got to eat it. Still make it look good when you leave. You're happy with the job.
Yeah.
You might not be happy with what you're getting paid, but you're at least happy with the job, and they're happy.
And that's what keeps people coming back.
It does. It really does.
And
we really care about everyone's lawn. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I'm not busting my guys to get it done quick and trying to kill them. Take the extra time and do it, man. I'm paying you to do it. Just do it right. That's what I always did.
All your reputation's on the line.
Yeah.
Right.
So just do it right, man.
Just do it right.
If I'm gonna send you back if you mess it up. You know what I mean? You're not gonna like that. It's gonna ruin the whole day.
All right. So basically, your policy is if you don't get it right the first time, I'm gonna send you back.
I'm gonna send you back.
Get it done right.
Yeah.
So you do spot checks. I've seen you come by.
Oh yeah.
You do spot checks. Make sure it's done properly.
All the time, man. Constantly.
So what are you engaged in now personally? I mean, is that what you do? You go around and do spot checks?
Yeah, spot checks, and then I'm feeding my landscape guys whatever they need with materials, whether it be mulch, dirt, bushes, trees, and stuff like that. So kind of play truck driver a lot, And then you're putting out fires with people and whatnot.
Well, you're in the human resource business.
Yeah, I'm running around.
Which most people are. So.
Yeah, I'm running around talking to people and getting things done,
So long as you have people in your company, then there's always going to be some kind of problem.
Exactly.
I blew a tire. How many times did you hear that one?
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable.
Especially in the blue-collar land. Well, I don't know. It goes for the white-collar land businesses as well.
It's always something.
It's always something.
It is.
People. Yeah.
Always. All of a sudden there's a court date or, anything.
Jury duty.
Yeah, jury duty. Really?
Shroud it.
Yeah.
No, don't shroud it.
Yeah, don't shroud it. I didn't see it. I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you
Never
talking about?
got
Was that
it.
certified mail?
So we're on the same page. People go to jury. You're like, people call you up and say, I'm on jury duty. You're like, not today, you're not.
It was back in the recession where I started the business and I was still laying brick a little bit too. So I was able to, work. I just got a job laying brick again where I'm making good money, a journeyman scale, and I get jury duty. Okay. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, we'll go down there, I take care of it. And sure, I was the last one they checked and I got it. They picked me. I'm like, oh, we got our jury. I'm like, I was there for 2 weeks, man.
How did you get picked on a jury?
2 weeks. I don't know.
Was it an interesting trial, at least?
It was, actually. It was a trial of two girls that one of them shot one another. And,
cool.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Well, I don't want to say cool. But
Yeah, it was at
least
least
you're there
interesting.
for something interesting.
It was interesting, and actually they didn't have enough evidence to actually.
So they were not guilty?
Yeah, not guilty.
Oh, you're that guy.
The prosecuting attorney was so upset, man. So upset. He came into the jury room after the fact, and we're like,
What did he say to you? What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, it's just, she's up. Well, she was up for another attempted murder.
Oh, I see.
Which we didn't know that. We didn't know
Not the same jury, though.
Yeah, it's not the same jury.
So what's he coming in for? It's a waste of time.
Yeah, so they wanted to fry her on that too,
But if the verdict's already done,
it was over with, and it was really unprofessional.
So what's the point of coming in?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so after that, though, I was certified mail.
What are you talking about? They don't do it via certified mail.
I know.
Well, basically, they can't ever prove.
They
Look, I
probably
think that they realize that most people aren't. They have some that'll show up and play the game of how to get out of it. You got a third of people who don't just ignore it entirely, and
Right.
they need that contingent of people that actually go and qualify in some capacity.
Sure.
like you somehow.
Yeah, and I knew it. It's like I knew I was going to be picked too. I just had this feeling, it was there. So,
As long as there's a few things you need to say to get off of jury duty.
well,
Like, she's definitely guilty, right?
well, yeah. I get.
Is this...
I don't know. I don't think I'm very good at that. And it's they know it.
Everybody who's here is definitely guilty. You wouldn't be here if you weren't guilty. No, that
Yeah.
certainly isn't the case. All right, we're going to take a break for a minute.
Okay.
All right. I've never heard of eating bear before. That's cool.
Really?
No.
I shot a huge moose last year.
we're back on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's good.
Oh, good.
So, you were telling me that things started. So you started 14 years ago, and again, for entrepreneurs, I think it's important to understand that trade skills are important.
Oh, yeah.
Besides the obvious foundations of anything, which is good work ethic and so on and so forth, which a lot of people don't have nowadays. But,
Yeah, no, it's really hard to come by, actually.
But so when did you feel it really kind of kicking in for you?
I was able to finally get away from my crew, where I was on the job constantly. I was the one cutting the grass, making sure everything was done. And it was, my biggest thing was it was hard to get away from the guys and let them take control somewhat.
Did you have an issue with, well, a lot of people do, so it's not you, but just delegation is difficult for entrepreneurs, particularly when it's your own business.
It definitely is, but I had a guy, luckily I had two guys that had come up with me and been with me for probably 12 years of the business, me starting it. So they knew the routine. They knew what had to be done. What I had to do then was just get them the tools to get it done, whether it be a worker, a truck, and new machines, whatever it took, When I first started out, we didn't really do any credit or anything, so that was kind of the finally break down and do some financing to, so I didn't have to just blow the whole nut that I had been saving forever, So I had money in the bank and was able to finance some things and start growing and get away from where I could go get lawns and get business, where if I was on the job, I didn't have time to go see them,
right.
So once I finally got away, that's when we really, really started growing. I feel that's when we really started growing. Is once I got off of the job and was starting to delegate other jobs.
But it took. It sounds like it took a while for
it. Did. It took. It did take a while.
Not just in time frame, but to trust.
Well, yeah, it was the trust, and then it was learning too. You learn how to get through the winter when you knew, snow wasn't going to make it. So you had to save everything you made through the season to get going the next season. So there'd be some money for startup to be able to pay some guys and stuff like that. So that was really the biggest thing.
So what is it, give or take, and we're in Detroit, Michigan. So what is the ratio of summer work, if you will, to winter work?
Well, winter work, there's like almost nothing, unless you really busy snow plowing. My guys, I keep them pretty busy snow plowing, but it's not like the winter or the summer months where they make some pretty good money.
Do they have to save their money as
yes,
well?
they need to also, but, I give them unemployment. And that's one thing. They at least have unemployment to back up on, and then when it does snow, it kind of screws with their unemployment because they're on and off, But it's either stay off unemployment or play the game,
So they go on to that.
Yeah, they have. They have to, and that was one of the things that helped me keep my workers is giving them that,
Right.
So it brings them back every year.
A consistent crew.
Yeah, and really that's the best thing to have, some consistency.
Yeah. So the revenue started to go up, and
yeah,
but you still got to be very cognizant of your finances, right?
Right. Oh yeah, totally.
As a company.
Yeah, it's a company. It's constantly in and out,
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to stay 10 steps ahead, of everything. And then you think you're ahead of everything, and then something breaks that's really expensive, and that puts you in a hole. And
It's like that Gold Rush show.
I'm telling you, it's a lot like that. I mean,
You ever watch it?
you like get up on the mountain, you think you're coasting, and all of a sudden something breaks. You're climbing back up the mountain.
Well, you're in the human resources and machine business, so
right?
So you're gonna have things to take care of.
Things are gonna break. Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Todd on Gold Rush. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you watch Go Rush ever?
Yeah, I have. I don't really pay
Oh,
attention.
basically, he makes no money ever.
Yeah, I know.
Parker's the one always out there making money.
Because he probably has better equipment or something.
I don't know.
Todd?
I think it's he picks better land. Todd doesn't like test the land before. He
Or
goes
either
out.
that he doesn't spend his money wisely when he
Yeah.
does make money,
He's,
you know?
He's just unlucky.
Yeah,
Todd.
I don't know if you should
Yeah.
even call it Gold
Hoffman's,
Rush.
yeah.
The Hoffman, Todd Hoffman.
Yeah.
You should just. It's more like he's just. They should call it fixing equipment.
Fixing and
Like
breaking.
how to fix a Volvo. You know,
Excavator.
excavator.
Right.
That should be his show. Poor guy. He's always losing. Then the dad's out there going, "We're gonna make this work." Praise the Lord.
Glory hole.
It's a glory hole.
Yeah.
The first season they had the glory hole. They dug like 300 feet into the ground. It was the glory hole, and basically the thing almost imploded on them because they were so deep. But they weren't cutting out; they were just cutting,
In.
So it made this big hole, and they called it the glory hole, which has
Nice.
multiple connotations, of course. And,
I just like when the old guy said it. Glory hole.
we're gonna dig down in the glory hole. Then he got so pissed off because they weren't making any money. He's like, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving." He took his excavator and like went
It
across
took
the
off.
river and
Oh,
like
nice.
off into the distance.
You
He's
see
like,
him leaving.
he's like, "Dad, come back."
It was very dramatic.
Yeah.
That's very dramatic. But I
Gotta
mean,
put some drama in it, you know?
yeah, no, 8-year-old guy, whatever he is. Yeah, but I mean, you're in the equipment business, so yeah, you got fixes all the
Yeah,
time.
you always have things to fix, and you really got to do a lot of preventative maintenance. You really have to throw everything back into the company. It's you got to throw a lot into the company to keep it rolling.
So just for the audience of entrepreneurs, when you get started, tell me, did you? I think I know the answer to this. Did you do a business plan?
No, not at all.
Right.
No, not at all.
And did you do a marketing plan?
No, not at all.
Right. And
I just kind of jumped into
Did you
it.
do a financial plan?
No, because I only had $10,000 finance. So
Right. Well, I mean, so there it is. You got your $10,000.
right.
But what you did have was a vision of
Yes.
what you wanted to accomplish,
Right. And
the drive
and just stayed at it, man.
to what you wanted to do, the perseverance to continue, keep going in good times and bad, and
Yep.
And just good hard work. The reason I point that out is because I think there's a misunderstanding in the entrepreneurial area that you have to come up with this perfect business. So I've written a lot of business plans for companies, and I can tell you right now that, as you know, businesses take a life of their own.
Right.
I mean, literally living, breathing things that not even you have control over.
No doubt.
And in fact, it has more control over you than you do it.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It's a child for sure.
Yeah, it's like having a baby, right? So, and regardless of whether you write the business plan or not, it's not generally the way it's going to play out.
Right.
You have to learn how to be nimble and flexible and to go with the flow and see what the obvious is.
Sure.
Right. So if you write a business plan, I'm not against writing business plans. I think they're okay foundations for smaller companies as well. But you have to know when to be flexible with it.
Right.
You can either sit there and write about it, or you could just do it.
Just do it, exactly. But when it comes down to a business plan, I think people have to get business plans to get a loan.
Well, well, I mean, sometimes people do them for themselves. Well, they teach this in college, is why I'm pointing it out.
Okay.
Like how to write a business plan, how to get venture capital, how to get angel investment, how to start a business on your own. And a lot of the first things that people are going to tell you is to write a business plan. Well, I mean, it does help you formulate your ideas on paper.
Right.
Potentially.
Potentially.
If nothing else, for yourself,
Sure.
and to say, okay, it might help to write it down, but not necessarily execute on it perfectly.
Right.
And then there's those. I think that the majority of smaller companies actually do not write a business plan. They just kind of go for it. And there's two sides to that. It's a double-edged sword.
Sure.
Right. You're successful at doing it, but take note that there can be the hazardous side of that.
There's definitely a hazardous side,
and not having a plan at all.
Right.
At a minimum, you better know you got to know your numbers and what you're getting yourself into and what the potential impact might be to your personal life in particular, and that you don't get paid. I don't know what you did out of the gate, but you don't. When you become the owner of something, it's tough because if you want to grow even a landscaping business, right? For example, if you want it to grow beyond yourself, right? You have to reinvest back into that company, and that means human resources.
Almost 100%, and it's crazy.
Right. So you can't just say, all right, here, I take all the money,
right?
Unless you want to become a sole proprietor, one-man shop, and whatever.
Right.
Otherwise, you got to put money into it. Right?
Sure.
Buy if you want to grow, got to buy better equipment.
You got to buy new equipment. Yep.
Right,
you got to keep it up. I mean, and then the nicer your equipment is too, it's a lot. You pull up to a house with a nicer vehicle, a nice new truck, they're going to be more apt to hiring you because they,
So you're talking about a marketing perception,
right?
Well, and a reality.
Sure.
Well, so look, if I see a guy going down the street with a John Deere that's 14 years old, or you come by with your Renville, trucks,
brand new truck, brand new
equipment, and the prices are, let's say, 10% difference.
Right.
I'm going to pick the one that looks more legitimate,
Sure.
even if I don't ask, likely has insurance, is bonded in some capacity.
Oh, yeah.
I think is going to do good work.
Exactly.
And that's because I see that you've put investment into your own organization, right? To say, well, he cares about, what he's doing, and this applies to any business, right?
Sure.
Whether whether it be your website has been invested into, or your social media has been invested into. So yeah, you're gonna pick that stuff. So cyclically, just out of curiosity, how long does a general piece of equipment last?
Yeah, before you need a motor on it, it's usually about 2,000-3,000 hours. You got to put a new motor on it. A piece of equipment will last a long time if you keep it up.
Let's just talk about your everyday.
All the zero turns, you can get 20 years out of them if you take care of them. You're going to go through motors, and you're going to go through parts on them. You're going to have hydros and whatnot. They're all expensive, but it's cheaper than buying a brand new mower. Once you have that piece of equipment, you can always rebuild everything around it.
Who does all the labor on your? Service.
We do some of the service, and then one of the local guy that we buy our stuff off of on Groseville, he does most of our maintenance.
So you outsource it.
Yeah. See, it gets to the point where we just don't have time to work on things.
That's a whole other business.
Yeah, so you just get it done, whatever it takes. They're going to get it done a lot quicker than you are. Guessing, they're professionals, so they know what to do. They know the programs. They know what to work for, when things are broke, what broke, how it broke, why it broke. We don't know that. It's broke. We don't know why.
You just dump it off and say, "Look, this isn't working."
So they know exactly what to go after. Where I've had machines down for 2 weeks because we're just trying to save money. It cost me more money in the long run having that machine down, trying to save money fixing it.
I think that's a good
just taking it in, having it fixed.
It's a good lesson for
it is,
well,
man. It's a lesson to know that you have to have funds there ready to pay for other things other than your workers and everything,
and the capacity and the knowledge to do it.
Exactly.
Right? Meaning if you're not in the business of fixing equipment and you don't know the hydraulics and you don't know why the oil's leaking and you don't know the suspension, you don't know all this stuff, there is other organizations that are specializing in that.
And you might as well let them do it because they're going to get it done quicker and more efficient.
You'll be back on the road.
I'll be back on the road a lot quicker.
So, but you do this by gut feeling, not by mathematics.
Yeah. Well,
I
could say it's mathematics now because I'm
saying you don't sit there and create a spreadsheet and say, look, if I were to have this piece of equipment out of service for a month while we try to fix it. Not only am I taking human resources away,
Right.
From doing work,
Exactly.
but it's going to take us a month as opposed to bring it in to be serviced and maybe pay a little bit of a premium so that
So it's out a day or two,
they
or
make margin, right?
right. Everyone's got to make money though.
That's the business that they're in. But you're back on the road.
Yep. And so I paid them, and now I'm back up and running. So we're making money again.
You don't need a spreadsheet to figure out that that's the right thing to do.
You really don't.
Do you think that comes by experience, or
I think it's a lot of experience, a lot,
or by because that's not part of your business plan.
It's being hungry.
Talk about that. What do you mean?
Being hungry, not having money, not being able to buy food.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I think it's important
being
to
put
talk
into a
about that.
corner because that machine's broke. You might not, be able to buy food. You got to pay for your workers. My guy's always been paid before me ever, all the time. So that's, it's a good thing I hunt because there's always meat in the freezer. You know what I mean?
I think being hungry is a huge.
It is, man.
You
Being hungry makes.
bring up a very important topic.
It changes things. And, I think a lot of it is putting yourself around successful people also.
Yeah. Well, let's
really
let's
helps.
expand on that because that's cliche, right?
Sure.
It is, but let's break it down into what the reality is. Because if you don't have other successful people around you, surrounding you, and inspiring you to do, look, I mean, you can go to somebody and who isn't as hungry as you
Right.
are,
Right.
right? And they'll give you all kinds of consultative advice
Sure.
about how to handle something. But being hungry and surrounding yourself with good people. And what we mean by that is, explain your version of it.
I think just
Good work.
picking your people that you do hang out with and whatever you want to associate with. I've been fortunate to be around a lot of successful people. Okay, and I've done a lot of cool things in life that's really driven me to want to keep doing the things that most people can't do.
Even outside of your business.
Way outside of my business.
So give us an example.
Going on a 3-week hunting trip or something that costs $20,000. Most guys can't go spend $20,000 and go hunting for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? That's always been my outlook, was to be able to do things like that, to be able to go to Europe, go all over the place, take my wife wherever we want to go, and have fun. We scuba dive, we snowmobile, we're into a lot of things. Boats, we have it all, but we worked for all that. We worked on it together. So, I really think being around a lot of the successful people that when we were down, not making a lot of money, and we were really down in the dumps, they really helped us out. It just gave us that insight and just that sight, that goal,
You were the outcomes of what you're describing, say the ability to go on, deer hunting or hunting trips,
whatever,
and so on and so forth in Europe. But people have to understand that these are outcomes of your successes,
Exactly.
which didn't come easy,
it did not.
right? And I mean, I can speak from first person point of view. I didn't just build Quantum or any other company yesterday.
Right.
I think it was. I'm not big on motivational speakers, but I think it was Tony Robbins actually that said something to the effect of what you. I don't even want. It's a bad quote from me. Basically, what you see today was years in the making.
Oh yeah.
Meaning,
Right.
a lot of people see you going on these trips or
Yeah.
us going on these trips and not understanding that we put in years
Lot
and
of
years sacrifices and time in order to accomplish those goals.
Right. And then, a lot of people don't realize that.
Talk about hungry. So I actually started out when I was 16 as I was homeless.
Okay.
Not homeless, like pushing the carriage, right? The Target cart. I'm not that guy.
All right.
Or picking through cans or anything like that. But
Right.
I was thrown out of the house and I was homeless. So you need to figure out now all of a sudden what world do you put into?
Exactly.
So when you say hungry, and I mean it in a literal capacity, right?
Right.
You better figure out how to fix that problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and it's okay to be hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is.
That's where you're going to learn the most.
Exactly.
And what drives you,
Right.
To be successful. So now you're at a point. Tell us where you are now. Meaning you want to. You worked a long time, 14
Right.
years. Hear it again to the audience. 14 years to get
Yep.
where he's gotten. Okay, in a blue collar environment, successfully, with the better part of 280 consistent clients, which
Sure.
is an extreme success in that environment. So yeah, you get to go out and do the things you
Yeah.
want to do now. What is your outlook? No, I don't mean for the business, but as an individual, you want to continue to grow the business.
Yeah, yeah. I want to keep growing. Now I'm at that point where I'm starting to really look at retirement mode and looking a few years down the road, maybe selling out and being done with it. Hopefully, we can save up enough. I think we're doing pretty good now. We're kind of on track, my wife and I. So, and with the company's doing very well. Yeah, I don't know. I think now I'm looking more retirement. Now I'm really growing,
But what are the multiples in your business?
Multiples being
in
what?
terms of revenue to profit, sales. It's usually a multiple of what, seven times profit, or
Yeah.
two times sales. Or
It's
whatever it
about
might be.
2 times sales, I would say.
Right.
So
That's
it's a tough job that we have. The tough business that we're in. But I don't know. It might be something down the road where I'm just put it into management and I just kind of stay out of it and see how the company rolls. You know what I mean?
and have somebody else
Actually run everything.
but make sure kind of keep it
Oh,
on
yeah.
it. And
Keep it all on it,
Stay
yeah.
on the virtual board, if you
Exactly.
will, to make sure things are going well.
Right.
It's the American dream you're kind of living, right?
Yeah, trying anyways.
Well, I mean, you are.
Seems like we're living it pretty well.
You started your own business,
I'm up and running.
up and running. Took your. I think I want to reiterate how long it took, because nothing comes. There's such a in today's environment. There's such a desire for the now satisfaction,
Right, yeah. Well, everyone wants it now, but
Instant, yeah.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
and it's not generally the way
it's
gonna
not instant at all, man.
I think people watch media too much, and they
Yeah.
see,
Well, they just see. I think they see that-
outcomes,
Yeah, they see the outcomes of what people have and what are able to do, and they just want it. They just want it to happen.
give me that now.
Yeah, well, they don't realize that these people really worked for what they have.
And what do you think that takes?
Perseverance, man,
All the way.
all the way. You
Just
just
gotta-
stay at it, and when things are looking really bad and you don't think it's gonna just keep rolling, man.
Yeah, we have good days and bad days too.
Everyone does, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
We'll have a bad day, if you will, and various things will happen. And
Sure.
you got to just put. They always say it's just whatever.
You just got to put it
You
to
know.
the side and keep working, man.
We can't change the clock.
Regardless,
Tomorrow's-
it doesn't stop. You just keep going.
Tomorrow's tomorrow.
Right.
Right. We'll
Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day.
You got to push through it.
Exactly.
Because usually the things that have happened are irreversible.
Right. And that's
There's no sense in harping on them.
no.
Right.
Just move on.
Getting therapeutic about it, laying on the couch.
If you sit there and dwell on it, you're just going to go nowhere. You'll just go backwards.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to learn from what happened and roll on. Figure out a way so that doesn't happen again.
So, how do you see when you look at your current resource pool? Do you? You try to hire good people.
Yeah.
I want to ask about double back to the interviewing process
Sure.
a little bit, because I think this is also we have a lot of college students and whatnot that pay attention. So
Right.
I don't interview the same way most companies do. Not in our business. In our business, it's very formal.
Right.
Meaning you
right.
go through these 5 interviews, a board, and then you take these tests to make sure you're not a psycho and all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And then you get hired. That is not the way that I personally do it. I generally take people out to dinner.
Okay.
I learn much more about them.
Yeah. Sitting there talking with them.
Just shooting the breeze and figuring out.
Okay.
And it's not I don't even like to call it an interview per se. It's a get to know you.
Sure.
And I'm aware that they're putting on their best
Right.
during it. So I always take off about 40%.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, right on.
Minimum.
Sure, minimum. You're right about that.
Like maybe 70%. If I could get 30% of this person, would I be satisfied? No, because I've interviewed thousands of people, I think, certainly in the hundreds,
Right.
over my career, and I still don't always get it right. And I can tell you right now that all these boards and tests and things you can go through, people could just,
I think it's still a gamble either way you're looking at it, which
Oh, yeah.
the company is a gamble every day when you think about it. You're taking a little bit of a gamble every day, trying to make it through, trying to make extra money, figuring out a way to make it easier. So.
Yeah. So what do you do when you interview people? They come into the office, or?
Yeah, they will usually.
I take them.
I run on the yard, and then a lot of times I bring right on machine, see how they can go, whatever,
Well, I mean that's a skill set.
Exactly. And, you got to be fair with them and whatnot. It's not rocket science to run a lawnmower. You know what I mean? But to run it right and not hurt things, it's I swear it's 90% just lies come out of their mouths all the time. But I don't know. I've learned to read people. When they're in need. When they're no good. You got that gut feeling all the time.
Look what I found.
Oh, look at that! Nice.
It's a what is that? A Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Good old Paps.
Straight out of Milwaukee. All right.
I knew a guy that used to call them Papsies.
Papsies.
A hillbilly from Tennessee.
Pabst.
Surprising.
Papsies.
So this is the over the beer segment that we're having tonight. What were we just talking about?
Over beer.
No, I mean besides that. I lost track interviewing.
Mm-hmm. So interviewing, I mean, it's not like we have a formal interview or anything like that. They usually call up and.
So what if I showed up to your interview? What would you say?
I'd just ask you questions.
How
do you run the mower?
Why you have all those tattoos?
Nah, I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. And
Sure,
like I said, in my line of work,
that's acceptable.
It's acceptable. You know what I mean? It's whatever, man. Tattoos are tattoos. What do you want? I don't do tattoos, but if you want them, that's fine. That's whatever you want to do, that's fine. Doesn't bother me.
I'm in the white collar world.
Right.
So
with tattoos.
Well, I mean, I'm suited up every day. So
yeah, I know. So they don't see them. And
quite frankly, we've met hundreds of people over the years.
Oh, I'm sure.
Many of them do.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, they just...
no doubt.
20 years ago it might have been a little bit different, but...
yeah, nowadays it's not a big deal.
We've seen judges and...
Politicians
and executives. Every time
Absolutely.
they see mine, they'll all of a sudden inevitably bust theirs out and they get that one on the foot.
Yeah.
Look at the some guy with a flower on his foot, or clover.
And my wife's got a flower on her foot also.
Well, I'm talking about guys.
Yeah, I know.
They always want to compare.
Right.
Just to let me know they have them. I don't know what that is, but nonetheless. You have any questions, Brittany?
No, I don't.
You have any questions?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Are you sure?
Come on. You got to have something.
Think so. Why is the sky blue?
Because of
the ocean.
the atmosphere.
Isn't it the ocean? Isn't the ocean makes everything blue?
It's
in the atmosphere.
It's particles in the atmosphere.
I thought there was something to reflection with the blue ocean.
Somebody told you that when you were a kid.
Yeah, maybe. They told me the world was flat.
It's not.
It's not. Everything in the sky is round. Why would we be
all
flat?
round.
Everything is round, but we're flat. I can't believe that somebody buys it. People still buy into that.
I know,
That it really
that's
is
something.
flat.
I know, it's crazy.
Take that Red Bull guy up in the sky, and he'll show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a curve on it.
Yeah.
At a minimum, it's no. I mean, whatever. I'm not even get into it. Do you think they landed on the moon or not?
Oh, here we go.
This is
I don't know. I
Here
mean,
we
what's to say
go.
they didn't?
it's
Just knows.
conspiracy theory. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they did or didn't. Just did they land on the moon?
I don't know. I feel like, yeah.
I think they
You
did.
feel like they did?
I feel like we wouldn't be offering to move people to Mars if at some point years ago there wasn't some big thing where we landed on the moon.
So why isn't there like a trip to the moon yet? You know, why can't we
why
take
would-
like a
Ask
like a roller
Elon.
coaster to the moon? You know,
Ask Elon.
Ask Elon Musk. He'll take you to the moon.
Flying Tesla.
A flying Tesla.
Okay.
You know, so he called that guy a pedo. I guess we're closing out here, but he called that guy a pedo.
Yeah, you've got 5 minutes.
Oh, really? Thank you for telling me how much time I have. I appreciate it. If I want to go on for 5 hours, I'll do it. You may not be here, but I'll just record. I'll tell Jessica just to
Leave
keep
it on.
Yeah, just leave the recording
Keep it
going.
rolling.
That wouldn't be out of character for him.
I have things to say. All right, if you had to take your shot at it, did we go to the moon or not?
I think we went to the moon.
All right. What about you?
I think we did, yeah.
Wow, Jess, you think we went to the moon?
I do.
The flag wasn't The flag was blowing though. There is no air up there.
Oh.
No, there's wind up there.
Would you like me to give you
Just
a couple
because there's no
reasons?
air doesn't mean there's no
Jess
wind.
is like,
There's
that's
no-
true.
There's no oxygen.
My whole life was ruined.
But there's constant things moving around, right?
Well, no.
So there's got to be some wind.
No, there's no wind. And
What about solar flares and stuff
But
like
how
that?
do you know?
Wouldn't
There's
that be
water on
windy?
Mars, isn't there?
what?
Isn't there some water on Mars?
Yes. Well, they find traces of water on Mars. Yes.
So why wouldn't there be wind on the moon?
Well, there is. I'm just telling you that there isn't. According to studies, there is not wind on the moon. The problem is that it was waving back and forth.
I haven't studied that much.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. In fact, I would suggest yes, they did go to the moon.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
Cool.
That must have been cool as hell.
God, it had to be,
Bouncing
man.
around the moon. Being
Can you
like,
imagine?
What's up?
I know, that whole weightless thing would be so cool.
What, the weightlessness.
Yeah.
Well, you can kind of get a hint of it in the those wind tunnel things, right?
I feel like that's not
Well, I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same as
not
going
the same
to.
thing.
It's
the
going to be
same as-
really loud, I bet, too,
Yeah.
with all the
Probably-
wind.
All right, fine, fair enough.
I mean,
it's
the-
the same as floating in a pool.
There you go. That's about the best you're going to get weightless is in a pool or something, you know. Ocean, you're a little more buoyant with the salt, so maybe that's even better, you know.
Did you ever let the air out of your lungs while you're swimming?
Oh, yeah.
Just sink right to the
Yeah,
bottom.
you sink pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm a scuba diver, so you know all about that. You learn all about that. You think you'd be able to take your scuba tank, and throw it in the water and it would float? It will sink like a rock.
Unless,
You fill up your BCB.
yeah, I would do that if I were you.
What?
Fill up your BCB.
Why not?
Oh, I would.
Oh, you would, yeah.
What's
If
wrong?
you don't want it to sink.
Basically, putting cement blocks on yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Go straight to the bottom.
Exactly.
Do you dive in the river?
Yeah, we do some.
do.
Yeah, we do a little bit of.
Been down there?
You find any bodies down there?
No, you know it's really green down there.
Green.
It's
But
green.
we're talking about the Detroit River.
That's what I'm
for
talking
the
about. It's
audience.
green.
Yeah.
It's green.
Yeah, it's green.
Naturally.
I've never seen any bodies or anything like that.
Well, I mean, if you had, then you'd be on the news, right?
Wrecks, shipwrecks.
No, I haven't seen any wrecks down there either.
No?
There's one
Cars?
on north of Grosse Ile that's pretty cool one, but it's
Yeah.
it's pretty strong current to get down in there.
There's what?
You have to drop like a rock. You have to really wade up so you can drop fast to get down there.
Yeah,
You
the
know.
current's pretty strong because that's the
Yeah, you'd have-
opening to Lake Erie, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just the river's narrow and there's a lot of water pushing into it, so there's a lot of
Right. Big current down there.
there's some pretty good current. Yeah.
I've never been scuba. We tried to go scuba diving this summer. I'm sorry. I'm gonna water it down a little bit. I was gonna go snuba.
Snuba, yeah.
What is that?
Snuba's all right, man.
Snorkeling,
Snorkeling,
and
Well,
scuba diving.
snuba's pretty cool because you don't have to really have all the gear on. You can swim down and you You just put a weight belt on and swim around until you're out of air, you know. But you don't go deep with snuba.
So I was in the Dominican,
Okay.
and we were going to go scuba diving, but I got to Dominican. I was so hot on being at the place that I went out for like 20 minutes, forgetting I was near the equator. And then my chest hasn't seen the sun
Your
in
skin
like
is
20 years.
burnt.
So I stayed out for like 20 minutes, and I got burned to a crisp, and then had like a fever for 2 days.
Oh, that's terrible, man. Sun
Just
poisoning.
kind of sweating it off.
Yeah, that's no.
And
That's no good.
so we had scuba diving the next day, and I didn't want to go because obviously it's not like painful, you know, to have cold water hit your burnt skin. But
It was pretty nice, wasn't it?
yeah, no, it was beautiful out there.
Yeah.
I'll definitely, go to that area again for
Yeah,
sure.
scuba diving's a really cool thing to do, man. So
What have you seen down there?
Uh,
Well, we caught a shark, by the way.
I've seen sharks and everything.
Let
down
me
there.
back. Well, I thought it was fascinating because I don't hunt all the time.
Right.
So I snagged a shark.
Okay.
Not in the Detroit River.
In the Caribbean.
In the
Right.
Caribbean, yeah.
But you could see 30 feet down.
Yeah,
'cause the
exactly.
water's so clear. So I snagged one, and of course, I couldn't get him up because he was like, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He was, we didn't have the right gear
They're
for
pretty
it.
strong, too.
So he just laid on the bottom the entire time. I was thinking about jumping in and grabbing him, but I was advised otherwise.
Yeah.
We were using barracuda for
bait.
For bait.
Yeah. Chunk them up.
Well, yeah, you can catch barracuda really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
You just cut one in half and throw it down there. About 2 minutes later, he grabbed onto it.
Isn't that something, man? Need a little bit of blood in the ocean. They just start coming.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's wild, man.
Cut yourself and jump in the water.
Yeah. No thanks.
Oh, thanks, like Jaws.
Yeah.
Come and get you. Yeah.
It'd be a terrible way to go.
Britt, how much time we do have left?
You're done.
I'm done. You're
I'm
done.
cutting you
All right,
off.
man.
It's been a good experience to listen to him talk about entrepreneurialism
absolutely.
and blue
This
collar
was pretty cool.
and blue collar work.
Like I
and,
said, you guys took me out of my comfort zone altogether.
yeah,
But I like that.
what it takes to make it, And so your number one word, if you don't, you can repeat it, was perseverance.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
Just keep with it.
Keep with it, man. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Keep your dreams in sight. You know,
Stay hungry.
stay hungry
Stay
somewhat.
hungry. Persevere.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, right on. Thanks,
right.
Richard.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was cool, man.